This is not a border story. This is not about undocumented immigrations. This is about American citizens and whether the US government still recognizes their right to live with their own spouses. As of today, January 19th, 2026, and federal immigration agencies have quietly executed one of the most sweeping family based visa shutdown in modern US history. The Trump administration has effectively frozen spousal immigrations from at least 75 countries, dismantling long standing protection for immediate relatives of US citizens. And there was no press conference, no congressional vote about this, no formal announcement on primetime television. But the impact is already devastating tens of thousands of American families. Now, for decades, US immigration law has followed one core principle: immediate relatives of US citizens are prioritized and protected, so that's spouses, minor children, and parents. Even under travel ban, wartime restrictions, and heightened vetting, these categories were carved out. Now, the firewall is gone. Under Presidential Proclamation 10998, which quietly took effect January 1st, 2026, the administration eliminated categorical exemptions for immediate relatives, allowing the State Department to suspend visa issuance even for legally married spouses of U.S. citizens. Then, on the 14th of January, the State Department escalated the policy further, announcing an indefinite suspension of immigration visa processing for 75 countries we talked about, citing public charge risk and economic burden. So, together, these two actions created what immigration attorneys are now calling the family freeze. Some of the regions that are affected as the African continent, South Asia, the Middle East, Eastern Europe, and Latin America. Countries include like Nigeria, Brazil, Pakistan, Russia, Egypt, Somalia, and Afghanistan. So, for families affected, the message is very blunt. Your marriage may be legal, but your spouse's nationality is now disqualifying. State Department cables instructs consulates to pause issuance even if, listen to this very closely, the 130 is approved, the interview is completed, the marriage is bona fide, the U.S. citizen sponsor exceeds income requirements or meets the income requirements. Visas are not being denied, or it's not being denied, but they're frozen indefinitely. There is no timeline, no appeal mechanism, no written refusal, just complete silence. Now, inside the US, the slowdown is quieter, but just as severe. USCIS has expanded its National Security Vetting Center, pulling spousal petitions based on country of origin, not evidence. So families that report have been reporting their I-930s stuck in actively reviewed for over 12 months. No request for evidence, which call that RFEs, none of that. No interviews, no explanations. Immigration attorneys confirm this is not a backlog. This is a selective stalling. A senior USCIS official speaking anonymously to advocacy group described it as permanent provisional review. So in practice, it means your marriage is treated as inherently suspicious until proven otherwise, with no clear standard for what that proof is. And on social media like TikTok, Reddit, X, US citizens are documenting the fallout in real time. Military spouses unable to reunite after overseas deployment, pregnant Americans facing childbirth alone, parents raising their children across continents via FaceTime. Families are canceling weddings, funerals, and medical travel. So one viral post reads, I pay taxes, I vote, I serve this country, but apparently my marriage is a national security risk. So another says, I passed the affidavit of support, I passed the background checks, I make six figures. None of it matters because my spouse was born in Nigeria. So these are not undocumented families. These are citizens. These are Americans locked out of their own homes, their households. So constitutional scholars warn this policy is skating dangerously close to illegality. So the key concerns are due process, right? Citizens are being deprived of family unity without individualized reviews, equal protection, nationality based descriptions affecting citizens through their spouses, Then we have the Administrative Procedure Act. No clear rulemaking, no public comment, no transparency. Federal courts have previously ruled that while the government has a broad authority over immigration, it cannot arbitrarily burden citizens' constitutional interests without justification. So, legal challenges are already forming, and we are going to have an episode coming up possibly Wednesday, kind of diving into the legality of this. So, what the administration is really doing right now, it's not just about immigration enforcement. This is a demographic control through economics. By reframing immigration as a cost analyst, the government has converted poverty into a disqualifier, treated family unity as a fiscal liability. Now, redefining marriage as a privilege contingent on perceived economic value. This is a shift away from civil rights and towards transactional citizenship. So, if your spouse is abroad, yeah, do not assume approval guarantees entry, let alone any information from the consulate. Don't rely on past exemptions. Track consulates update weekly to see if anything has changed to the USCIS or the National Visa Center, the NVC stage. If your spouse is in the United States, avoid international travel as much as you can. Please maintain lawful status, meticulously document financial independence aggressively. This policy is evolving, but it is active now. So, this is one of the most consequential immigration actions of this decade, century, not because of how many people it targets, but who it targets, right? American citizens, American marriages, American families, and we know there's a decline in the birth rate in America already. So I don't understand what is going on. The wall is no longer just at the border. It's at the embassy, it is at the USCIS, and increasingly it is inside American homes. I am Anissa Qalbi. All sources documents are linked below. Read them, save them, share them, because families affected today might be yours tomorrow if you are in this process. Until next time, I leave you in the care of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh fi amanillah. And be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and share, and comment below what your thoughts are, please. I would highly appreciate that. Bye now.